Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. America never was America to me.
Gather in all the people, gather in. There's a place here for all people, gather in. 'Cause when I sit beside your spirit, the road seems a little less dim. Gather in all ye the people, gather in. Voices gathering. There's a place here for. There's a place here for all voices gathering. 'Cause when I sit beside your spirit, the road seems a little less dim. Gathering all your voices, gathering all your sorrows, gathering all your sorrows. There's a place here for your joy, gathering. It's when I sit beside your spirit, the road seems a little less dim. Gathering all your joy, gathering. Gathering all your stillness, gathering. There's a place here for your stillness, gathering. 'Cause when I sit beside your spirit, the road seems a little less thin. Gathering all your stillness, gathering. Gathering all the people, gathering. There's a place here for all people, gathering. When I sit beside your spirit, 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 the world seems a little less dim. Gathering all ye people, gathering.
Gather in and welcome to the Community Church of New York Unitarian Universalist. My name is Karishma Gottfried. I use they and she pronouns, and I serve this congregation as your intern minister. Whether you have been coming to community church for decades, or walked in the door, or clicked on our live stream just minutes ago, you are welcome here. We gather here today in this temporary space of ours that we have made home. We gather knowing we have not been in person for the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, many of us attended the Sunday service in person or virtually from the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly, and last week, a group of us marched in the New York Pride Parade. Some applause for that. It was super fun. So I invite us to settle back into this space. We've made it to another summer with Community Church, at a time when our community might be a little smaller than usual, although pretty good turnout for a holiday weekend. And it is just as important as always that we are here together. Welcome. We are so glad you are here. Let us begin by singing The Fire of Commitment. The words are in your order of service. You can stand up, yeah, if you want.
You can be seated. Please join me in reciting our chalice, lighting words, which are found in your order of service. But first we will sing. Okay. light the chalice, the fire that guides and unites our church, kindling the flame of love that burns at the center of our faith. Now please join me in reciting our unison affirmation. Unto the Church Universal, which is the depository of all ancient wisdom and the school of all modern thought, which recognizes in all prophets a harmony, in all scriptures a unity, and through all dispensations a continuity, which abjures all that separates and divides, and always magnifies humanity and peace, which seeks truth in freedom, justice in love, and individual discipline in social duty, and which shall make of all persons one beloved community, unto this church and unto all its members known and unknown throughout the world, we pledge the allegiance of our hands and hearts.
So it's summer. You can probably tell because it's really hot outside. Generally, in our summers, we have a smaller group, although again, great turnout for a holiday weekends. And over the next few months, we're going to see lots of new and old faces, lots of visitors checking us out for the first time or dropping in on their New York City adventure. And so I encourage you in this moment of greeting your neighbor to extend a little bit of an extra effort to greet somebody that you don't know, learn a new name, smile at a new face, and be a part of this community together. Please greet your neighbor. Everyone can find their seats again. We'll have more time to chat after the service. I know we love greeting our neighbors. We find our seats again. So it's warm out, and we're tired. It's been a long year. And as we gather here today, I want to lift up those who are missing from the floods in Texas and those who have encountered increasing devastation all over the world due to human efforts, due to climate change, due to war, due to violence. And also hold close those in our country who are impacted by the increasingly devastating legislation that continues to be passed on both state and national levels. And as we hold all of that, to also hold the fun, the fireworks, which are fun for some of us and not others, the beach days, the pool time, this time coming together on Sundays, whether we're sitting here together or marching in pride or out in the world. I invite you into a moment of silence and contemplation as you listen to the sound of the chime. Spirit of life, God of many names and of no name at all, guide our feet, guide our wheels, guide our bodies, guide our spirits, guide our hearts through this time of uncertainty, of pain, of hope. Guide us towards generosity and an everlasting love. Please sing with us. In our hearts, Amanda, Alex, John, Sam, Virginia, Karen, Liz, Charlotte, Zoe, and Anna. And we hold in our hearts all those who go unnamed but are in our minds. And we sing. As we do every Sunday, you are now invited up to light a candle for the joys, the sorrows, the uncertainties, the dreams, whatever is in your heart today. Please come forward. Beloveds, may the light we ignite here in this space together remain in our hearts as we go out into the world. May we share it with those we encounter on our journey. Amen.
When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours. Before we knew it, somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl, descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promise to glade, the hill we climb. If only we dare. It's because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We have seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort nearly, very nearly, succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be their heirs of such a terrifying hour. But within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light. For there is always light. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing till the world can hear our song, till the world can sing along.
We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along. Till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along. Till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along.
We will not stop praying.
We will not stop praying. We
We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing till the world can hear our song, till the world can sing along.
A few nights ago, the sky was full of fireworks. In backyards, on rooftops, down by the river, people gathered to mark July 4th, Independence Day. And it's a ritual with deep roots in this country. Freedom and independence, we're told, is something to be celebrated. We light up the sky in its honor. And yet, as the fireworks echoed across the city, I found myself wondering, what if the thing we most need to celebrate right now isn't our freedom or our independence? Because I'm not so sure that we are free. And if we are, or ever hope to be, it's certainly not because we're independent. Langston Hughes wrote in 1936, mind you, "Let America be America again." And he goes on to say, "Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great, strong land of love where never kings connive, nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me." And this poem has lived in my bones this past week. Nearly 250 years after the Declaration of Independence was written, we're still wrestling with what freedom really means and who gets to claim it. This past year alone has brought escalating rhetoric threatening the very heart of our democracy. We've watched as voting rights are undermined, as reproductive rights are eroded, as trans lives are legislated and criminalized. The kings and tyrants are still conniving and scheming to crush us. And still, people are rising. Communities are showing up for each other. We're finding ways to organize, to resist, to feed and to care and to protect, especially when systems fail to do so. And what's making that possible isn't everyone fending for themselves. It's something else entirely. It's the relationships that we're building, the trust, the choice to show up not just for yourself, but for someone else. It's the recognition that we are not meant to do this alone, that survival, and more than that, that thriving happens together. One of my favorite quotes is often attributed to the Aboriginal activist Lilla Watson. You may have heard it before. "If you have come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come to help, or if you have come because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together." But even that quote is an example of what it's describing, the collective and not the individual. Because when she was asked about that quote, Lilla explained that it was never hers alone. She had been part of an Aboriginal rights group in Queensland, Australia in the early 1970s, and they had come up with that phrase together. Well, she couldn't remember the exact process of how the phrase had come about. She was quite clear that it was a collective, an interwoven group of activists that had come to those words together. That idea that none of us are free until we are all free wasn't just one person's insight. It was wisdom that emerged from relationship. And that kind of shared wisdom, that collective experience, isn't just something that activists know. It's an everyday occurrence. Neighbors watching each other's kids, strangers passing out water bottles at a protest, friends walking each other home after a long day. The work of liberation in the largest and smallest ways is always about connection. And it's not just human either. Because when we want to talk about how things grow together, about what it means to support one another, to bring our gifts and receive the gifts of others, of course, nature is our first and often best teacher. And one of the most beautiful lessons I know comes from a garden. In many indigenous communities, there's a traditional planting method called the 3 sisters: corn, beans, and squash, grown side by side, season after season. Not in neat, separate rows, but close, intertwined, each bringing something that the others need, each relying on the timing and growth of the others. The corn grows first. Beginning its journey in the late spring, it grows tall and straight, stretching its stalk up to the sun. And beneath the soil, the beans begin to root deep into the earth. Then the leaves emerge, and its vine wraps around the steady corn stalk. And finally, the squash begins to grow low over the ground. It extends its wide leaves over the earth, keeping the ground cool and free of plants and insects that might harm its sisters. And there are too many stories to count told about these 3 plants. Stories where they are sisters arriving in a time of hunger and offering themselves in gratitude. Stories where their relationship with one another becomes a gift for the people. Each of these plants could grow on their own, but they don't thrive that way. Instead, they grow together by design. Together, they protect, support, and nourish each other. They create a system where no one plant dominates and none are alone. Potawatomi botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer describes this garden as more than just practical. She calls it a blueprint for the world, a map of mutual flourishing. She says that if we respect one another, if we support one another, bring our gifts to the world, and receive the gifts of others, there will be enough for all. Imagine if our communities worked like that. What would it look like if we too grew in this kind of harmony? What if we put ourselves on the front lines first, like the corn, using our privilege to advocate for others and providing strong guidance and leadership when other leaders emerge? What if we found the places where we were needed the most, like the beans, providing nourishment, new ideas, connections in unlikely places? What if we realized that it is never too late to join the resistance? Like the squash, we spread our arms out to shield our communities and hold the ground firm. Because, beloveds, we need one another. The corn on its own grows tall, but gets knocked over by strong winds. The beans, without support, are tangled and vulnerable. The squash, planted alone, can't keep out the weeds by itself. But together they grow strong. Kimmerer notes that it's tempting to imagine that these three are deliberate in working together, and perhaps they are. But the beauty of this partnership is that each plant does what it does in order to increase its own growth. But as it happens, when the individuals flourish, so does the whole. That's basically the opposite of the American myth of the self-made person. There is no such thing. We are all soil grown and seed held and rain raised. We are all already connected. The question really is whether we will recognize it and act accordingly. So let me pause here and name something that might seem surprising in the midst of all this talk about struggle and justice and systemic change. As you'll see in your order of service, the theme for this month is fun. That's the theme every July, and why shouldn't it be? We have beach days and parades and sunshine and summer vacation. But this year, in a summer like this, in a country like this, in the face of rising authoritarianism, climate crisis, and so many lives on the line. But maybe that's exactly the point. Because fun isn't a distraction from justice, it is justice. When systems work to steal our joy, our play, our laughter, choosing to reclaim fun becomes a bold act of connection and care, a way of standing together in resistance. When we laugh together, when we sing together, when we dance together, we're building something that injustice can't touch. Connection rooted in delight. When the squash vines outstretch their leaves in every direction, yes, it's for survival. But it also looks unmistakably like joy. The bean doesn't climb the corn because it's forced to. It spirals upward like a dancer, moving in wide loops across the summer air. The garden isn't just efficient, it's exuberant. And so are we. When we gather together for a church retreat, or throw open the doors to sing, when we bring bubbles to the protest or music to pride, when we pass the mic to our youngest voices and they sing loud and off key and we cheer anyway, that's not a break from the work. It is the work. It's how we remember what we're fighting for. Not just survival, but a life worth living. It's how we practice sharing space, sharing abundance, and trusting one another. And it's how we heal the myth that we must always earn rest, or joy, or love. Joy reminds us that we don't have to be the same to belong to one another. Play invites us into relationship without pretense. And fun, real, communal, silly, sacred fun, teaches us how to share the world. We don't grow into beloved community by grit alone. We grow into it by dancing barefoot and drawing with sidewalk chalk, by telling stories that make us laugh until we cry, by watching our children leap into the sprinkler while the beans and squash twist toward the sun. Fun isn't frivolous, it's formative. It shapes us into people that know how to celebrate one another. It helps us remember in our bodies that liberation is not just a goal, but a way of being together. So yes, fun belongs here, not as an escape from the work, but as evidence of it. When we feel safe enough to laugh, to play, to enjoy one another's company, that's a sign something's working. That we've built enough trust, enough care, enough community to let our guard down and just be together. 249 years ago, this country was founded on a Declaration of Independence. But independence was never the whole story. Not even then. Not when freedom was claimed for some, but denied for so many. So today I want to offer a different kind of declaration. Not one that separates, but one that connects. Not one that centers individual rights alone, but one that lifts up shared responsibility. Not a declaration of independence, but a declaration of interdependence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created, connected, that life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice are only possible when none are left behind, that the strength of a nation and of a congregation lies not in its might, but in its mutuality. We declare that freedom is not isolation, but relationship, that joy is not selfish, but shared, and that safety cannot be bought, only built together. We pledge to be each other's harvest, to be each other's business, to honor the gifts of those who came before, to plant the seeds for those who will come after. We do not go alone. Beloveds, we never have. So let us declare it boldly that we are the corn, we are the beans, we are the squash, we are the ones we've been waiting for, and we are growing something better together. Amen and Ashe. Blessed be. May it be so.
Oh, beautiful for spacious sky, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountain majesty. Above the fruit and plain, America, America, God shed His grace on thee. With brotherhood from sea
Beloveds, as we go on our ways, keep this time in your hearts and remember that you are never alone. As we extinguish our chalice, please join me in singing. Send our light out into the world anywhere that hope and healing is needed. Go now in peace.
On the mountain, the light is fall. Over his mind.